I'm not quite, I'm not an expert about create a container image, but for the Windows, I know it's different from Linux, right? There's some license, especially for the what's kernel part. So I'm assuming that for the Windows version, container, I mean only the Dockerfile. So there will be no, how to say it, Windows kernel or OS image part, but only focus on the build tool, the development, tool part, and let the user to solve the OS base image license. It, um, that works. Do
I'll
do
have to
do you think?
go. I'll have to go look. I'm not again. There's a whole bunch of different containers in Windows, and I'm not sure exactly what containers we've made uh, extensible or open to the public to make container images. So I don't know the licensing rules offhand. But like you said,
Okay.
I think that the minimum we can provide the Docker file to make it easy to set up an environment. In the in the perfect world, we would provide the hosted image that would make it easy to pull down that.
Okay. What's the plan for the Linux side? Do we, separate the OS a base OS, or we, create a whole, everything in one Docker file, and
So it is the
everything.
whole thing, right? But I think Linux containers don't have the licensing problem you're mentioning here. And I'm not sure if Windows containers actually do either. I think they actually will run on Windows without any problems. I just don't think they run cross-platform. So,
Okay.
assuming you have a valid Windows machine, a modern one, probably running Windows 10 or newer, you'll be able to run a Windows container.
Okay.
Without any problem. So
that sounds good.
Yeah.
One more question about you mentioned Visual Studio, 2020 or 2022. How's his latest license? Is it more free license or the same as uh, the one in before? That need you subscribe some VP stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. So
Okay. Yeah.
for quite a while now, the Visual Studio tools have been released both in the Visual Studio format with the IDE, as well as in what's called the build tools format, which is just the command line and compilers and linkers and tools. So generally, my suggestion is use the build tools variants. Those do not require you to purchase anything.
Okay.
And they're available online, just like the other versions that do require you have a MSDN license or other approved license.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm thinking if the Visual Studio, need some license, maybe we can, we can only focus on the clone PDB in Windows part. That should be
Right.
fine.
And I think that's another option. I think we would like to see the Clang tool chain get set up a little bit more. All right. Anything else on the container discussion?
So I know, Sean, a while back, going back to Visual Studio, I thought there was some sort of intrinsics or there's some sort of redistribution requirements for .NET or something for the compiler. Was that ever resolved as far as being able to redistribute the binaries generated from any of those components?
I haven't heard any problems around that. I think everyone I know releasing BIOS today uses Visual Studio.
Okay.
The intrinsics, we did open source one or two of them last year, or 3 years ago. But I think I saw GWin pulled in for the intrinsic live work that's going on in EDK2 today.
And in the build tool version you were talking about earlier, is that's not the same thing as the community version, which is free to download, right? That's a different. That's from a different point.
It's different in that it doesn't include the IDE. So as long as you're not using the Visual Studio IDE, and then obviously like for .NET products and other classes of projects, the IDE is much more useful. But I think in the firmware space, you don't really need it.
Right. You just need the MSVC compiler, and that's it.
Yep. Okay. Looking at last week's notes, does anyone else have? I didn't see too much. Andrew, I guess you did sign up to help keep Xcode toolchain alive.
Yes.
My only question would be is I think we need to build out some sort of template of. I guess in a perfect world, I think we should be like at the stable tag release. You know, we should have some sort of artifact that says, hey, I ran every package and these are the ones that built. These are the ones that failed. This was expected or not, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of standard report that we can see across the tool chain so that we can easily kind of declare it supported.
Yeah, I know. I think historically, like Rebecca has been running some stuff, but yeah, I just mainly have been reactionary, not like proving that it works kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Otherwise, I haven't seen anything. Oh, go ahead.
We haven't had a ton of problems with it, like because it's compatible back to like Xcode 5 just about, but it's usually the biggest problem we have is just new warnings and things pop up. But a lot of those are similar to Clang as well, so.
Yep.
So there's quite a bit of overlap there now.
I would be curious though if it actually compiles every package. Like as I look through this, I see a lot of packages that don't compile with every tool chain.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. There's definitely some esoteric stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with assembly code, so
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. Yeah, let's say it's a good question of what is our sort of contract with these tools, right?
So I think at worst we should document what packages we expect. And then, at best we should say, these tool chains compile every one of them. But I think probably GCC is maybe the only one that can do them all. I don't know. Because I think the ARM packages are the ones that generally don't work. Because missing assembly. But that said, I don't know if RISC-V, every package compiles for RISC-V. I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question to ask. I think too, it's what did we test? I guess, do you want to opt into more things working with this compiler?
Yep. Okay. Well, if no one else, I'll probably take a swag at trying to build some report that we can ideally add or have automation plug in the results, or a manual person plug it in if we don't run the tool in CI. So, but welcome anyone who has ideas there. I just think it'd be good to bring light to the expectations. All right.
I think Mickey had to drop off already for another meeting or something else. Jordan Justin is the other person I think that's supposed to have access to the repo. I know I talked to Laura. I know she didn't have rights for the GitHub, only for the website. So I'll go back and check with Jordan to see if he can give Mickey admin rights or not.
Okay. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I looked it up, and he's an owner of the org. I put
Right.
it in that window, so he
Right,
should
right.
be able to.
So we'll see if we can get Mickey, and we should probably have Lee out somebody else who at least so we can, in case the CI breaks or something, we can actually do something right.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other topics anybody wants to bring up? Okay. I'm gonna miss next week. Do we want a meeting, or should we just use the discussion forum to hopefully see if we have a repo created and then some Docker files created?
Seems like we could skip.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, thanks everybody. We'll talk next 2 weeks from now.
Okay,
In
thank
a
you.
couple of weeks. Okay, bye.
Right.
Thank you. Bye.